We are going to thoroughly cover the part about syncing orders from WooCommerce to Airtable. So to begin, we should already have our plugins installed and activated, as well as the products imported. Now that we have the products imported, let's see how order synchronization is done. Normally, order synchronization happens automatically every time an order is created or its status is changed. So, as you can see here, I have already placed my very first order, and right here, I have marked it as completed. When we check our Airtable database, we can clearly see that our order is listed there as well. Now, for example, if we want to make a change to our order, let's go ahead and edit it. For instance, let's change the status from completed to cancelled. We go back to our order list and we can see that it's now marked as cancelled. What we want to check is that this change is properly reflected in our Airtable database. The synchronization of WooCommerce orders with Airtable will depend a lot on the server we have and also on how we have WP cron configured. Normally, this synchronization can take between 1 to 5 minutes. So let's take a look at our Airtable. Here, we can clearly see that the status has been modified. Now, it is set to cancel. Since the order has been cancelled, this change is also reflected here in the stock transactions. Down here, we can observe that the first one, line 90, was deducted from the stock, but since the order was cancelled, the stock was restored to its previous amount. So as we can see, first it was deducted and then it was added back. It's also worth mentioning that in the orders lines table, we can see the full contents and the details of the order. In this particular case, we have the number, the order itself, and the products that were included in this order. Now we're going to make a new order. This time we're going to add more products. Alright, our cart is now complete, so let's proceed to the checkout. We carefully check that all the information is correct, then we verify the payment method, and finally, we're going to create the order. Done. Now let's just quickly check our orders. We're going to refresh the page. And here we can see that order 109 is currently pending, and if we look at our Airtable, we can clearly see that order 109 is in fact still pending. And if we want to see the details of our order, we go to the order lines section. Here, we can view all the products that were added to this order. In this area, we can see the quantity of each item, as well as the price for each product. And the product ID, which we can also observe here in our stock table for your reference. We can see that it has been deducted, and now we're going to mark the payment as completed. We click update. Alright, now we see that the status has been updated. It's now set to completed or finalized, and now let's check if our Airtable has been updated. Alright, done, as we can see. Order 109 has now been completed. And well, that's all for this video, where we've seen how order synchronization is done automatically from WooCommerce to our Airtable. It's important to mention that the orders that will be automatically synchronized with our Airtable will only do so after the initial product synchronization has been completed. That is, if we just install the plugin, this synchronization won't happen. It will only take place once the first product synchronization is done. In addition to this, any changes we make in our Airtable will not be reflected in WooCommerce. That is, if we want to change the status to cancelled or on hold, this status will not be reflected in WooCommerce. The synchronization is only one way, from WooCommerce to Airtable. As an additional note, as we saw in the video, the orders that are synchronized are only the new ones from the moment the first synchronization takes place. That is, when we look at all our orders here, we can see that orders 57, 70, 71, and 72 have not been synchronized to our Airtable. Why is that? because they will only be synchronized once we have performed the first synchronization. The first synchronization was carried out, and from that point on, orders 108 and 109 were created. This means that if we want to have all these orders synchronized in our Airtable, we need to use our other plugin or add-on, which will export all existing WooCommerce orders to Airtable. So this is our plugin. You can absolutely obtain and download this plugin for free from the WordPress marketplace, and with it you'll be able to directly export all orders from WooCommerce to Airtable. Once you've completed the export of WooCommerce orders to Airtable, any new orders that come into your site will be reflected in Airtable thanks to the initial product synchronization we've done with RWP Sync for WooCommerce. From this point on, you'll be able to see and keep track of all new orders. It should be clarified that this additional process I just explained is only necessary if you want to have the entire order history from WooCommerce in your Airtable. If not, you can simply have Airtable start tracking orders from the moment the product synchronization is done, so you'll only have the new orders. And with that, we wrap up this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out, leave comments, and subscribe for more tutorials like this one.